And good morning. It's been a challenging morning for me since I woke up as I pondered many things, including a weird dream that I'll share in a little bit here. The title that I've finally settled upon this morning is 2012, Earth Continuity or Destruction and Rebirth. As I see it, humanity has a choice this year, and more than a few of us have to decide consciously. This one cannot be left to the default programming. I choose continuity, feeling that no wisdom can be gained by making the other choice. If we let our home be destroyed, temporal though it may be, we will have confirmed what many say is true, which is that peace is impossible in 3D worlds. Trying to put all the pieces together of my thoughts this morning has certainly been a challenge, and most of my meditation was spent doing exactly that, trying to form some kind of a cohesion between all these scattered things that are going on in my world right now, including the dream in which a lady gave birth to quadruplets, four babies. And the first one was relatively okay. The second, number 2 and number 3, there were lots of complications, and the doctors worked feverishly trying to save the babies. The fourth baby that came out, they didn't even try. They just let it die. And I picked it up and I held it. Sometime afterwards, I was saying to them, why didn't you try to fix this one? Why didn't you try to save this one? And I held it in my hands, and rigor mortis was already setting in, which I know it doesn't happen that fast, but in the dream it did. And as I got out of bed and walked down the hall to the meditation room, that dream was still very much in my mind, as well as what's happening to my home. And I sat there with the globe in front of me, as I do many mornings, and realized how fragmented and how scattered it is, and some people don't think that the world is even worth saving. There's an awful lot of people that still want the escape route, where they leave and go to some other place where they can not learn the lesson there either, from my point of view. Others would just as soon let the planet be destroyed, that Mother Earth go into a state of total destruction, or pretty much total destruction, and let the remnant that survives somehow start over again and make a new earth that way, a new world that way. I don't know about you, and I'm sure that there are opinions all over the place. But I've always believed, at least for a very long time, that the only way out is to embrace everything that's in. It's no more separation. We've done that route where we've separated this from that, the dark from the light, the masculine from the feminine, the good from the evil. We've done this separation trip, this war thing. Are we going to continue to do it that way? That's what war does. I mean, we fault the bankers because they finance both sides and they learn to make money. And that's another whole issue that was coming up this morning. It's one of my emails where somebody is dropping me as a friend, I guess, because there are people on my web page that make money. I thought it was going to be because because I have ads on some of my videos now, and I make a little bit of money on them, less than $300 all last year. So I mean, it's not a tremendous amount, and I'm probably breaking some rule by even saying that. I don't know. But in any case, there has to be, from my perspective, a continuity, or we learn nothing. I don't learn my lessons by dying and being reborn again. I come back with the same baggage that I left behind. Death is not the answer. Death and rebirth is not the answer. We've been reincarnating on this endless cycle of rebirth forever as humans. Now, some people don't believe that, and that's okay. Be where you are. I don't care what you believe. But I do want everyone to look. Please look. And please use your mind and your heart to think and to feel and to consider, to reason with both faculties, the mind and the heart, the thoughts and the feelings, with both faculties fully engaged. Please do that. Please. And look at the world. Do we want to just let the warmongers do what they did in Iraq and Afghanistan and in other places around the world, where they just go in and they destroy everything, and then they bring contractors in and rebuild it so that they can make money coming and going? I saw pictures yesterday somebody sent me. I would have loved to have put them up, but he didn't answer me. I couldn't get them on a web page, and I tried to post it on Facebook, and the pictures wouldn't post. But it was pictures of Hiroshima and Nagasaki after the bombs were dropped at the end of World War II. And then pictures of those same cities today. Unbelievable. These were supposed to be 1,000-year wastelands? Yeah, right. They're not. They are booming, booming icons of human civilization. Huge, beautiful cities. And then it showed a picture of Detroit after, as it is now. And it didn't get bombed, but it may as well have been bombed. And that's true of many of the cities in the Northeast and Midwest, the industrial part of the United States that has been allowed to go to hell. And the cities look like they are uninhabitable almost. Total state of disrepair. Which picture of reality do you want? I would like to see a world that we learn to lay down our swords, to lay down our weapons, to stop dividing, and for all of us to just come to our senses and to let everybody live in his or her own home. Because having a home is a right, not a privilege. We've made a whole bunch of things in our culture privileges that aren't. They are natural rights. We have a natural right for food and shelter and water and love. We have a natural right for the things that we need to survive. And survival should not be a struggle. But we've made it a struggle in this world because we've pitted this part against that part. And it's MAD, mutually assured destruction. Did you ever hear of that before, that acronym? Mutually assured destruction. Nobody wins. Everybody loses. And humanity loses, and consciousness loses. Because we didn't learn the lesson. I believe with all of my heart that we are capable of redeeming the world. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, John 3:16. We don't love the world. So many people that might be prone to quote that scripture don't look for this world to be saved, and they haven't for a long time. It's okay to destroy it. Let Armageddon come. Let the destruction happen. Let the apocalypse, which really means the revealing and the revelation, but that's not what it means to most people. It means destruction, annihilation, and starting over again. Death and rebirth, the endless cycle, the endless cycle. Life and death, life and death. Folks, aren't you getting a little bit tired of that? I am. I am. I want to be free because I was born free. The flame of freedom burns in my heart. It burns in your heart. Can you see it? Can you feel it? Burning. I wonder what would happen if every single one of us chose to integrate the opposites instead of fighting the opposites within ourselves. If we would allow our emotions and not see them as something terrible. Not even anger. Sure, anger gives birth. Somebody wrote yesterday that anger gives birth to all the injustices and stuff in our world. That's the cause. Somebody said that's the cause. Anger is the cause of all the injustices and violence in our world. No. Anger is the effect of all of those things. The injustice and the violence happen, and because it wounds the innocence and the essential nature of who we are, we get angry, and rightly so. Anger is higher than fear. Fear immobilizes. Anger has the potential to blast through the injustices and make things better. It's a step in the progression of emotions. Indifference is actually worse than fear, and so many people in our planet are indifferent to what's happening. Don't give a damn. Could care less. Oblivious to all that's going on. That's why I said we need more than just a few of us. I think we've already reached critical mass. I think we're going to save the planet. But there are moments in my days when I wonder, depending on who I'm looking at and what circumstance I'm viewing, I wonder, do we have what it takes to make the changes that need to be made to allow continuity on this beautiful planet and not destroy her again, as has happened in other times and as has happened on other planets. We don't need the constant war and the constant theft from one another, the constant bickering back and forth. Eventually we won't need money. We won't need the system that's been set up, but we need to make a bridge from where we are to where we're going. That's been my message all along if you've been listening. Make a bridge. Love is a bridge. Love builds bridges. Fear builds walls. What are you building in your life? Bridges or walls? I come from a family where walls were built a long time ago. Those walls still exist. Not on my side. I've been a bridge builder all along. Attempting, always attempting to build a bridge. And in my situation with my home right now, what's coming to me, I've used all sorts of lawful remedies that have been ignored. People have been sending me things that I get overwhelmed with all of the material I have. I've read so much and I'm tired of it. I'm wanting again to build a bridge, between me and the bankers and the attorneys and everybody else that's involved. But I don't intend to allow my home to be stolen from me. Do you intend to allow Earth to be stolen from us? Because we're too bullheaded and stubborn to make peace within ourselves? These are the questions. These are the questions that are facing me this morning as I meditate and as I pray for the world and my own situation. Yes, I don't pray very much for myself, but lately, because of the deadline approaching in just a little over a week, yes, it's a very looming concern for me. And I don't know how it's going to come out. And as I said a few days ago, leave the how to God. But I encourage each of you this morning to ask yourself the question, do I want there to be a continuity? Or will I be satisfied with another destruction and another rebirth, where I can start all over again and go through this process for another 13 or 26,000 years? I can't answer that for you, but I surely hope enough of us make the choice for continuity. And if we do, when we do, there will be a renaissance and a rebirth, not from ashes, not from destruction, but yes, destruction of the old ways of thinking, of the old paradigm of warfare and conflict. That needs to be destroyed, but not the world that we live in. Let's build bridges, please, and not more walls and bombs. Thank you for listening. Namaste.